Howdy, it's Mike here at the Beta Lab. We've got a product that we want to show you van lifers out there driving the Ram Promaster and who are thinking about installing a Maxxair fan. It's a very popular fan and used on Sprinters, Promasters, and other vans. One trouble you've probably noticed with the Promaster is that this is a roof section of a Promaster, and it's a corrugated roof. And the mounting flange for the Maxxair fan is flat, so somehow you've got to bridge that gap. So we've come up with a system that's very economical to be able to fit your Promaster roof with this is a mounting flange for a Maxxair fan. You can see it's quite flat. So somehow you have to be able to adapt this corrugated section to the flat flange of the roof. So to do this, we have a mounting ring. Okay, it's essentially a shim, and this shim is going to fit between the roof of your van and the mounting flange, and it's going to allow it to fit and sit in a flat manner. Okay, so for example, if this is my roof, I can mount this on the roof itself, and then the flange itself, this is what the actual fan attaches to, and it's flat, simply mounts on top of it. And you can be very brave and cut a hole in your roof and put this on, and then you can screw this down together. Now, in some of the videos I've seen, and probably some of you have seen online, people are cutting holes, and they manage to do the top pretty well, and then the bottom, they're just using just a piece of dimensional lumber or something, and it doesn't fit very well. So we've come up with a solution for that as well, and it's a similar item. It's the opposite shape, and what it does, I'm going to move this out of the way. It allows these pieces to sandwich. Okay, so it's going to just go ahead and sandwich that roof section, so that as you put your screws through here, it clamps tight and it doesn't deform the roof section. If you drive a screw through any of these holes and you clamp it down without support at the back, it's going to cause this sheet metal roof section to just simply flatten out, and that can cause, it can cause just deformity, but it can also cause things like leaks, and plus it also just doesn't look very nice. So we want this to be professional. Now, we have this available at a very reasonable cost, and the way we can do this is, one, it's large, so it costs a lot of money to ship. And there are people who are making these out of a solid piece of plastic. We're doing this a little bit differently. We're making this out of 4 different sections, and we sell them as a kit. And that way we can get them to you at a cost for the shipping and the manufacturing that is very reasonable. You're already going to have $250, $300 from this fan. You probably don't want to spend another $200 on plastic mounting rings, plus wasting all that plastic and making them out of CNC. We can do CNC here too, but it's just not an economical way to do this. Okay, the bottom flange, I should mention, okay, is set up so that bottom flange is set up so that you can actually screw all the way through it. Okay, you're not driving screws into plastic. There's brass inserts, and these brass inserts come with comes with a full set of stainless steel screws that are the correct length. If for some reason you have to change these, you can buy some longer ones, but we're going to send you some screws so you don't have to make a trip to the hardware store and figure out what size. They're also set up so that the inner ring, this is the trim ring. So this, if you imagine this is the roof of your van right now, this is the roof of your van. You're looking from the inside. This is the trim ring that comes with the Max fan, and you can actually put it over this, and there's some holes. In this case, we would use a couple of self-tapping screws to hold this in, and it makes it look really clean. Okay, or you can leave it exposed for kind of a little bit more industrial look, but it's going to look pretty professional when you're done. I know a lot of people are not lining their van with cedar. It's really expensive, and that's a lot of weight, and it's a lot of work, and you just kind of leave the van empty and leave it as a cargo van, or maybe put some, some soft insulating panels on it. And, you're not going to be, you don't want exposed pieces of timber, and you don't want a screw head sticking out for you to catch your head on. Okay, this is a very clean system. So, ultimately we have a from the inside out, we have a trim ring. We have the inside bottom ring. Okay, from the outside, so from the top of the van now, we're going to have the adapter ring, the top adapter ring sitting on top. And then on this is the mounting flange for the fan itself. It can kind of go any direction. And then these are just going to screw together, and they're going to sandwich your roof section that you cut out before you started this. So that's what we have available. Thank you for watching. I'm going to link everything down below. Here's your installation from the top. Not much to see here, of course, because we're covered with lap sealant, like any good installation, to keep the water out. So this is what the installation looks like when you're done. This is a black ring with a white fan on obviously a dark surface. This gives you some nice clean lines. And here we go, the same thing with the factory trim ring installed. Now this factory trim ring has to be trimmed down depending on the thickness of your inside. I think it starts out at about 4 or 5 inches thick, and this one's been trimmed down on the table saw to about 1.25 inches. So in this case we're using insulated wool panels to provide some insulation in the van without building it out with a lot of wood or anything and adding a lot of weight. This actually works pretty well, and it looks real nice with the factory ring. So these mounting accessories for the Ram Promaster are going to arrive as a kit. There's 4 pieces for each the top and the bottom flange. You can buy either the top or the bottom, or you can buy both. We've installed the brass inserts in the bottom flange. There's just simply through holes in the top. You don't need any threads there. You've got a screw that goes through there. So you're going to get each of these they dovetail together. Everything has been tested at the factory, so we know they're going to fit together. There's not going to be any guesswork there. They snap together pretty tightly, and then once you get them snapped together, you can. This is optional. Okay, this is going to ship with a little bit of solvent. This material is a cousin of ABS, and ABS is often solvent welded together. If you've ever used any ABS pipe, it's just acetone that dissolves it, and it actually welds it together. So it's a permanent. It's not a glue. It actually dissolves the polymer and welds it together. So we're going to do that here as well. This is going to ship with a small vial of acetone solvent, and it comes in a dropper bottle. And all you're going to do is take just a drop of acetone and squeeze it into the dovetail joints, if you like. And what that's going to do is that's going to make a permanent weld, and it's going to help the waterproofing a little bit. But realistically, the waterproofing, you're going to cover this thing with sealant, and this is maybe an additional step to really make sure you don't get any water coming through. If you use the proper sealant, these joints are going to be covered, and there's really not going to be any way for water to get through. There's some great videos out there showing the installation of these, and I'm going to link some of those below. And if you follow those instructions, you're going to find you get a nice solid waterproof installation.